He likes my company? Hearing him say that made me happy inside. I did not really react to it, but I think the small smile I gave him was a good enough answer. At least, I hope he understood it, because I enjoy his company too, more than just a little. And the fact that he had shown me such a personal place, a small glimpse into his life, made me even happier. It even made the breakfast taste better. Back at the agency, I went to the changing room after we had said, "See you later." Of course, I was not going to stay in my sweatpants, even though they would have been comfortable. I had already thought of something I had been looking forward to the entire time. I stopped outside the door for a moment before opening it. It was so loud inside. The others were probably getting ready, which meant only one thing: close my eyes and get through it. When I entered the room, I tried, as always, to remain as unnoticed as possible. But I think her name was Riven, and she came straight over to me, started talking about something, and then the others joined in too. The 2 hours before the shooting passed like that. Everyone eventually got ready. Besides the other people who were there, far too many for my liking, there were 4 who kept speaking to me constantly. Or rather, they talked, and I listened. It eventually reached the point where Yuna and Malik decided that they each wanted to do a shooting with me. They told me that I only needed to trust them and adjust myself to what they did. That I can do. Adapting comes easily to me, and Amara, another kind woman, insisted on doing my makeup after I had changed.
1 hour before the shooting began, I went to the studio to check everything one final time. Everything had been prepared perfectly. The only thing still needing a finishing touch was me. So I made my way to my stylist. We understood each other rather well, despite her regular lectures about how much I worked. I simply enjoyed what I did. And so far, I had never had a reason to change the way I worked. Once she had finished with me, I returned to the studio and waited for the applicants. Today's theme was Elegance Through the Bars. Every participant had already received an envelope containing the theme and the type of shootings they would be doing. There would be both partner shootings and individual ones, and I would be taking part as well. So I waited for the others to arrive so I could explain everything one more time. Even though this was all routine for me, I was always curious to see how my new potential models would perform. But above all, I was curious about Noel, and I found myself hoping that he truly had what it took.
Everyone entered the studio. I was the last one to step inside, and I stayed near the edge of the crowd. Malik and Yuna were the only exceptions. They remained beside me, since we had already planned to take our photographs together. The advantage of standing at the back is that you can notice a great deal without being noticed yourself. But somehow, Mehiel and I found each other's gaze. Whether it lasted only a moment, or longer than it should have, I could not really tell. While he explained everything, he seemed relaxed, but still completely focused, almost exactly as he had been during the interview. The partner photographs came first. Malik wanted the 2 of us to begin. We walked to the front together. He was clearly looking forward to it. I was nervous, even though it probably did not show. But as we passed Mehiel, and I was able to look into his eyes from so close, those beautiful green eyes, I felt myself begin to calm down. We started as soon as we reached the backdrop. We had already discussed everything beforehand, so I simply allowed myself to be guided. At first, everything felt quite easy. For 10 minutes, we moved and posed together. But while we did, I found myself imagining Mehiel beside me instead. What would it feel like to do this with him? Now that I knew he would also be taking part, I found myself wishing that he would be the one taking those photographs with me.
I decided to complete all of the shootings first and then speak with each participant privately afterward for a brief evaluation. Once everything had been explained one final time, I joined the others. Each of them then told me who they wanted to work with for their partner shooting. That meant Adrian, Amara, and Riven would each be posing with me. Noel and Malik were the first to begin. They stepped onto the shooting area and followed the photographer's instructions. From what I could see, it went well, but my final assessment would only come at the very end. Once they had finished, Riven and I stepped forward and began our first series of photographs. I could tell that she was genuinely enjoying herself. The final photographs were taken before the next shooting was ready to begin. I barely needed to guide her at all.